Okay, we're recording. So this is November 7th, and it's our Team Dwell Happy Chat. And I'm excited to just talk a little bit more about building a simple marketing plan because I feel like this time of year it's really, really hard to know what to promote and how to promote and when to promote and just all the things, because the beauty of this business is there's a lot of incredible things that are always popping up, but the challenging part is how do you tell that story and tell it in the way that's going to attract the people that are most like you. So, what I'm hopeful you'll find and walk away from are some actionable tips to really take back to use, and also some good reminders as well. So, I'm going to share so those of you watching the recording can see everything as well. Just share my screen. And one thing I did want to pop up real quick, just a reminder, these are kind of all the things that are going on in November because it's very easy to miss, okay, or not be sure what's going on. So obviously all challenge packs are $20 off this month, which is incredible. You can essentially get a challenge pack for $140, which is just awesome. And the really cool part about it is I would encourage you, if you have someone interested, and especially if maybe they're interested in the nutrition aspect as well, but they also want the workouts, check out some of the nutrition program challenge packs as well. Some of those are bundled with workouts. And additionally, you can also, like One Girl Today, I was able to take a challenge pack order for an her share cart and bundle the 2B Mindset videos. And the 2B Mindset videos were like 40% off when I put it in the share cart. So they have some fun, like just different promotions going on when you bundle things. And I'm going to see if I can find a list of all of those in FAQ. But just know there's a lot of sales going on because historically this month is hard because people don't want to spend money. They have no desire to get healthy right now. They will in a couple weeks, but not right now before Thanksgiving. So use it to your advantage to really go back to people who said no, who, especially people who have said money might be an issue, because this is an awesome time and the lowest that they will ever be. Also, Shakeology Peppermint came out. There's still some left. They must have really stocked up, which is good because when they did pumpkin a couple years ago, it sold out pretty fast. So I know that they still have some peppermint left. I got mine. I tried it yesterday. Pretty good. It's actually really good. Super Weekend was last weekend, and we had two team members go. Jessica, I know you're on the call, and Jennifer went. So yeah, I'll have you guys share some of your takeaways soon too, because for those of you not familiar, that's a quarterly event. They're all over the country. Encourage all of you to look for the next one in January and get to it. It's a great way to kind of relight your fire, light your fire if it hasn't been lit, and just really be among other people who kind of have the same goals and vision, and just get excited about like all the things coming. And then Bar Blend, that is coming out next year, but the sample workout will be available the week of Thanksgiving. So just something we'll talk about, obviously promoting and marketing in this call, but that's going to be something to put on your radar. And then finally, Beachbody does kind of a bunch of random sales the week of Thanksgiving and through the first week of December. So I haven't actually looked to see what all is going to be on sale. Obviously, challenge packs already are, but they'll have probably some products, a lot of the clothing items, some random things, just discounted then. Okay, I'm going to flip over. Okay, I'm recording. All right, so I wanted to talk to you guys just about creating a simple marketing plan, because I think too often we're just kind of, I know I do this often. I'm just like, getting up, it's kind of crazy with the kids, and I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to put up or post, or there's just there's no plan, and it's sometimes chaotic, and I'm not really getting any time to think what I'm doing. And that can be really hard, and it can get to the point of burnout. And I think that's why so many people don't really succeed in this business or give it a fair shot, because they get burnt out of, one, feeling like they're always on their phones, two, spending too much time trying to figure out what to post or how to tell their story. And it's just not a way to run a successful business. And I'm guilty of it too. And I'm trying to get better, especially now that I thought I'd have more time, but just trying to be better with my time to really plan and help you all plan as well. So couple things, and I always want to start any call with this is whatever we're talking about, like these trainings are great to have, but it's so important that you come first. So especially if you're a newer coach that's on this call, I want you to remember that like while I can give you all these trainings and you can get trainings from other people in our incredible upline or other people within Beachbody, whether it's the National Wake Up Call or some other call, you have to really focus on your first before you can do any of the other things. So if you're watching this recording or you're here tonight and you're just needing a refresher on where even to start with this slide, because probably 95% of this business is just focusing on you and being consistent, because right now is a hard season, but people want to be able to trust the person they're going to go with on January 1 or whenever. I mean, I can't tell you how many invites I've sent out this week and everyone says, I can't wait to join you in January. And I'm like, you're going to pay $20 more, but whatever. But yeah, it's just, I know though, between now and January, I want to show them that I can be there for myself and I can be there for them. And maybe, just maybe, they'll like decide to jump in sooner. But just, a lot of this already, but, stick to a program you're doing, whether it's Morning Meltdown, whether it's the work, and do it. Show up. Injuries happen, sickness happens, travel happens, and that's all understandable. But still, show up for yourself daily in whatever fashion that looks like. And, when you show up, I think one thing or one key differentiator I always like to tell coaches is show up daily and share what you do, but also why you do it. And I think that's a great way to share like who you are to someone, especially if they're new to following you. So, obviously Callie is a busy mom and she can't get to the gym, but she also has big dreams for her family. So she shows up so she can be the best mom, the best candle maker, the best everything else she is. But she also does it because she craves this financial freedom. And we'll get into talking about like both coaching and, just challenge groups too. But the point of it is like dig a little deeper, and it should be specific to you. So you're not going to be able to like share what I share or share what Jennifer shares, but that's really going to help you make it so much easier when you go to post. And that just kind of brings you to, be relatable, show your people that you're there for yourself every day and you can be there for them. And then once you do all those things, and if you're doing all those things, just go back to your business activity tracker, which I should have pulled it up, but it's just this, it's the Beachbody tracker. I mean, especially when all of us are so busy, if you get this amount of time, like 10 minutes to do something, do the things on here. That's going to help move your business forward. But whenever in doubt, look to that, because that's going to point you in the right direction. That's going to, I think all of you know what's on there, but especially if you find that you just have random time and you want to do something, that's where you can start. Okay, so a couple things, and please unmute yourself if you have any questions or anything like that. But just like kind of mentioned before, successful businesses, whether it's, Macy's, I was at Costco today, Chick-fil-A, like these things, these businesses don't wake up and just think, what am I going to do today? What am I going to share? What marketing am I going to do? Like people, they don't wing it. And I don't want to say that to like make you think or scare you that this has to be some big marketing plan and some big business that you have to run, because you can make this what you want. But it never hurts to know what you're going to do in a week, just like what you're going to cook in a week, what you're going to wear tomorrow. Like just if you stop winging it, then you're going to find that you have more time to do the things that are going to move your business forward. So these are some of the things like you might ask yourself, or I commonly ask, what are the promotions going on this month? Obviously, challenge packs are $20 off. When do new programs come out and sample workouts launch? When should I talk about or start my next challenge group? What about coaching? Is there a free group option? These are some of the common questions, and I put these all on here not for you to say, you need to think about every single one, because what I don't want you to do is do everything, because then you can't do everything and be successful at it. But think through some of these things each month, so then you know what you are going to talk about. So this is something, okay, so shame on me. I know our team Liberate, they do a calendar, or Brooke does a calendar. So I've really just been mirroring that. I have not put our November calendar up because I wanted to see if we wanted to do a free group. I traditionally have done one every year after the week of Thanksgiving. I do like a turkey week detox, have a script for it. It's very successful. Everyone loves to detox after Turkey Day. So that's an option to do, and I'll talk about that with you guys this week. But this is a great way to view your month. So what I would encourage you to do is split it into two parts. So at the beginning of the month, think about promoting challenge groups. And we'll go into detail some things you can actually do. But what you want to do is you want to hit Success Club, and you want to hit Success Club early. You don't want to be like the 28th, 29th, like that's Thanksgiving, forget it, people are with their family. That you don't want to be trying to call in favors, having someone like buy something just so you can hit Success Club. And again, Success Club is not the end all be all, but it's a great way to, one, make money, you're making money, and two, you're moving your business forward, and you get a lot of perks from it too. So what the goal is you hit Success Club early, you're inviting to your challenge group, and then the second half of the month, you're talking more about coaching. And I know that, there might be new coaches on here. There might be coaches who have no coaches under them, and that's okay, because I was there too. But there's so much you can still talk about this opportunity, and I'll give you ways to do that. But that's a really great way to do this. Now, just because I'm saying to do this doesn't mean you have to do it, but it's a very easy way to think through how you share content and share posts and share stories in a month. So first 2 months challenge group are just different customer opportunities. And then the second half of the month, we really talk more maybe about coaching opportunities, with the one caveat being towards the end of the month, you start kind of ramping up for December again. This month's hard because Thanksgiving's a week later, but this is just an example way to look at your month. Okay, so step one, always promoting your next challenge group. So what that means is, so right now, all of you all are in our, I think it's called we've changed the name so you can easily find our wellness community. And then, special programs will have dedicated challenge groups. Like we did a morning meltdown group. And, for some rollouts, sometimes we do a separate group. But right now, all of you guys are in that challenge group. And if you have challengers in there, and you want to, I would love for you all that have challengers in there, if you're not already, to start, getting on a team that we do post, coaches that are running the group do post week by week. I'd encourage you to, make sure you're promoting, or make sure you're posting so people can see you as a coach. But the hope would be that someday.
I have a question about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was on Emily's team for Morning Meltdown, but we never did anything in the wellness group page, because I know it was kind of like a two different things or whatever. But now, since that's over, I saw she posted the other day on our wellness page, but she didn't reach out to me and whoever else was on that same team. So I didn't know if that's the same thing, or if I need to do something, get on with somebody different, or how that worked.
Yes, I will get you on. So they're separate groups. And so what it was, just to give you guys some background, because this is something I want to really focus on next year. Well, I don't want to do it during the holidays. I want to focus on it next year. What we did is, when I first started coaching and I had a couple clients, I was in a group with my coach, Brooke. She had me take posts, kind of like what you did in the Morning Meltdown group. And then eventually, once I had a handful of clients, I went out on my own. And I partnered with Christina and Aaron. And so our group that's 300 people now used to be 20 people. So it's really cool because it grows really fast. But a lot of it's, we now have coaches in our downline that are bringing in their customers. But the goal would be to get some of you partnered up and running your own groups in the future so you can start to run it the way you want to run it, and you get experience like being a true leader in that group. But yeah, for now, because we didn't really want to do anything during the holidays because people are just so disengaged, we'll get you on a team because I know you have now, a couple customers in there, and they are separate teams. So we have just different coaches in that group because not all the coaches who run the kind of ongoing challenge group were the ones that were doing the morning meltdown one. So I'll make sure. But yeah, so that's how we, do it. And so we've tried it different ways. And again, just because we do it this way doesn't mean it's the end all be all. But what we have found is doing a challenge group that kind of stays the same and changes the content every month, like does a different challenge or does a bet, is helpful versus ending a group, starting a new one every month. With a new group to find like on Facebook. But we can, there's definitely things we can figure out to like increase engagement, give people more of what they want. But the point is like back to like promoting it, if you're not talking about what you actually do, then people aren't going to know. So you want to be able to go to invite someone and they already know what you're doing because you're talking about it so regularly. And I'd encourage you it's great to talk about like there's, I do it too, like there's 700 workouts, blah, blah, blah. Like there's all the tangible things you get, but maybe focus more. And that's what I really is focusing on trying to do about the value you get or why they matter. Like what's the so what factor of it, because people relate to the emotion you create. So when I talk about like, having postpartum and how groups like this really help that, like that's going to evoke emotion with people that are in that stage of life. And they might be like, okay, maybe I need something like this. So I encourage you to, again, just dig a little deeper. So your action item for this is to make a list of all the things these programs have given you, whether it's obviously like physical changes, but what are the emotional, mental, spiritual changes that have all happened because of just focusing on yourself. And I think what you'll find is by having that list, it's going to make talking about it a lot easier and you won't be wasting time like, what do I post? So make a list of all those things and then I guarantee you'll have a ton of content that will come out of there. And then step 2 is pay attention to holidays. These can feel like they hurt you, but they can actually really work to your advantage. Because I think what we find is, this time of year is hard because especially moms, all of us that are on the call right now are mothers, and it is very, very hard to get a family thinking about anything other than Christmas presents. But I think what we can do is just talking more about, once the holidays are over, then the rush of 2020 starts, which is crazy to think we're in 2020. But it's less stress from a holiday aspect, but it's more stress going into the new year and all the new things that change and all the things that have to happen. And I think it's always good to focus on, these are the things that are, they're not going to change. Like you're not necessarily going to get more time when the new year starts. And when you talk more about some of the things and why it's so important to, don't wait until 2020, start now, you can really, or even like taking the approach of, give a better gift to yourself, you could really use the holidays to your advantage. The other, and I'll talk about this in a minute, the other thing is there's always an opportunity to do like a free group, whether it's like just a quick 3-day free group, 5-day free group, right around the holidays, after the holidays, before the holidays. And that can be really helpful just to get someone who might be on the fence more into like the accountability experience and just what you offer as a coach. And then finally, I think with challenge groups, it's important to create urgency. And I struggle with this, and I feel like you guys can relate to this as well. Because even though we want to go back and maybe think about our month in this view of like the first 2 weeks are heavy challenge group inviting, the honest truth is a lot of us, myself included, aren't necessarily signing up all these clients in the first 2 weeks. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to say, okay, my group closes out, and then you lose that opportunity to invite someone. So what I would encourage you to do is, use the first 2 weeks or the beginning of the month to really push connecting with people, inviting people. And again, I don't love a cold invite. I don't love to invite. But what I do love is when I'm doing a good job of sharing what I do in my stories and in my posts, the invite doesn't feel as weird or icky or whatever feelings I've had before, because they know what I'm doing. And they know that, maybe it's not for them now, or maybe it's not for them never, but I'm not going to get emotionally connected to the invite. I'm just going to ask them if they want to join, because these things have the power to change your life. I feel very passionate about that. And I know it's not for everyone, but it is important to follow up with people and then kind of call it a stopping point and then follow up with them again next month. And I think to an extent, some people respect that because they realize that, your groups are more exclusive, and you do have, when you say that you're inviting or you're having open enrollment or whatever buzz words you want to use, people realize, your tribe, the people that follow you will realize that it is something, more special. Now, with that said, if I say, okay, Sunday I close out enrollment, um, if someone is going to join next week, I'm definitely going to, put them in. And then from there, I think there's still ways to get someone set up. Maybe they go ahead and get their challenge pack and, they start doing the workouts, but you add them to the group in a couple weeks. It's whatever you want to do. Obviously, right now, we've just been adding people whenever. But I do feel strongly that creating this urgency, especially in the new year, could really work to your advantage. So one action item here is to, if you don't have one yet, find a system to track people you're inviting. And honestly, I've tried a lot of different things, and the thing that works best for me is pen and paper. While I love some of the online, like Google Streak, some of those tracking systems, I use that for like customers and sending out emails and things like that. But I find that just pen and paper work really well for me right now, just because my schedule. But if you aren't writing people down that you're connecting with and inviting, it's very easy for them to fall through the cracks. And I do it all the time. I have probably lost a lot of people because I failed to follow up. And if you think about it, people in network marketing approach you all the time. And, we always get messages, but how often do you really get followed up with? So the fortune's always in the follow-up, and I would probably bet the percentage of follow-ups, I know I have some stats on it, I mean, it's really low. So even if I have people that have ghosted me for years, but they still watch my stories. I don't know what that means, but I have to think it's something maybe positive in the future. But yeah, so I definitely find a system that maybe works for you. Did someone have a question? Oh, yeah. Sorry, Jess.
That's okay. So I guess my problem is like with the challenge group, I still don't think I really get like the full picture of it. So, I mean, I'm inviting people to a challenge group, but they're just basically going into our wellness group and I'm not doing anything really with them. Like, I guess when I think of a challenge group, I think like I'm going to have like a private page for them and we're going to like interact and do something kind of like our crockpot thing that we did. But I know that that's not really it. So I guess I'm like still unsure and how to like actually approach that. That's why I haven't really done it yet.
No, that's a good question. So, and I think part of it is, and that's why I want to part for, whether, I mean, it doesn't have to just be on this team. It could be coaches on Christina's team and other girls like within that, you're already starting to meet within Team Liberate. There's other girls that are probably looking to branch out and start their own challenge group, because so the the point of the challenge group is to create a place for accountability and support. So the challenge group, the wellness community, we just changed the name so it's easier for people to find versus like a new name every month. That is, I mean, that is the same thing as like the crockpot group. It's the same concept. It's just the point is to create give some type of value, whether it's recipes. Like this week's all about prep, so it's more about just refreshers on nutrition and things like that. And then from there, it's giving them the opportunity to check in. And it's hard because we see like engagement fluctuate. But you as the coach, what I do is like when I sign up, like I signed up a girl yesterday. So what I do is I send her a quick email, and I've got examples of this too that I will just send you the link to that you can create or leverage. But I send them an email just to say, okay, this is where you access the workouts. This is where you, this is the example pack I send to a new challenger. I made it in Canva, but it's just this is what I do now. Like I've done it this year. This is like, basically, you could also just send them like a Beachbody version, but just gives them like a getting started guide so they know exactly kind of what to do. I have them talk about their goals, taking like measurements, picking what program they want, talk about meal plans. And if they're not doing like one of like 2B or Portion Fix, it can be like, you can show them where to access meal plans on the, Beachbody On Demand. And what I do sometimes, I mean, I always offer it. I'll jump on a Zoom with them. I find it's kind of hard to do that sometimes with moms because they're busy, but I have recorded a video where I have just done like an unboxing of my challenge pack once I got it. And basically what you want to do is you want to help them get the results. So a lot of what I do is I just have a list of all of my customers, especially newer ones that have gotten started in the last 90 days. And I make sure that I'm checking in with them in whatever fashion they prefer, whether it's text, you could even do like a Facebook Messenger chat like we did with Morning Meltdown. I did that. So there's different ways to do it. But the goal is like once once you sign up a client, you want to see them get the results that they're after. The accountability group is a place for them to be supported by people in the community. But as coaches, we should be making sure that we're commenting in there, we're checking in on them, and it doesn't have to be like you need to tag them every day, but just make sure that they're so a lot of people don't use it. They see the post, they don't want to comment. That's fine, but just make sure they're getting what they need in order to be successful. Does that make sense? Okay. And I think too, I mean, it's also gotten really big. And so as the New Year's around the corner, there's the opportunity to even start, branching out and having a smaller one, a more intimate one. And I also think our personal, like our group one right now, engagement really goes up in January too, just because everyone wants to get back on the wagon. But there's a lot of different ways to do it. But yeah, I mean, the free groups, the boot camps, the whole purpose of those is just to create this accountability. Like, okay, I didn't get my work, or Sally didn't get her workout in today, but she logs in to scroll on her Facebook and she sees like all these people checking in on the accountability. And so it's like giving that support. But, it's whatever, not everyone's a Facebook person. We've found they're easier to run on Facebook, but that's kind of the why behind them. But yeah, I mean, it definitely find out, and let's talk too, because I know you have some people. Make sure that you're just checking in with them, and helping them navigate like a nutrition plan. And again, you're not a nutritionist, but Beachbody gives you all of those resources to help people, hit their goals. So all those programs on the bod have a nutrition guide that you can point them to and just make sure that they're getting what they need. Yeah, let me know if that did make sense or you have any other questions. And then the next, so yeah, so create that urgency, and then, also talk about new. And I say that lightly because I do want you to talk about the new things, but don't talk about something that you're, likely not going to do. I mean, the work is not for everyone. I'm loving it, but that's not for, not everyone's going to be a work kind of person right now. So, I'm going to talk about it, but it doesn't mean, you should talk about it or whoever should talk about it. But talk about the things that you are going to do and that you're passionate about and that you love. If Shakeology isn't your jam, but Energize is, talk more about that. Everything, you have all of these offerings, but you certainly don't have to do them all. And I think that's sometimes where it can feel overwhelming and just like too much, because we feel like we have too many new things. But just because I'm talking to you about something doesn't mean you have to talk new about something, and so on. So, figure out what you love, what you like, and talk more about those things. Pick 2 to 3 things and talk about them in the next couple weeks. I think bar is going to be really hot for moms. The 3-day refresh is something that a lot of people look to do in January. And just think through some things you want to talk about, and that will help kind of differentiate yourself too and what you're sharing. And then another option, or kind of step 5 of this, is running a free group. So running free groups are great, and I know sometimes it can seem like, okay, we just did this free group and no one signed up. But the girl who signed up, actually 2 girls who signed up with me this month, were from our last free group. And I signed up from a free group, but I actually did like 3 free groups before I committed. So just know that if every time you offer them, I mean, the last one we did had tons of people, but everyone likes something free. I mean, there's no reason they shouldn't join in. And maybe, just maybe, something will click and they realize, you know what, I like this accountability. I like someone reminding me to, do a workout or giving me a fresh recipe idea. But they can be kind of hard to pull off, or not hard, but just like, everything's going on, there's a lot to do. But the beauty of it is there's a ton of scripts. I mean, we literally have things, so you don't have to recreate the wheel. Those are on Boss Babes Facebook page and our team pages, and they're really great to do monthly. So a couple things. Since Thanksgiving is towards the end of the month this year, and then the next week's December, there's a couple options we could do, and I'm going to put a poll up in our page this week. But we could do a turkey meat detox, which is what I've done the last 2 years, and it's been very successful. Or another option, since you go straight into December, is like a 12 days of Christmas challenge, or countdown to Christmas challenge. And that one's really fun too. I've also done that. But point of it is there's, some really great free group options, especially this time of year, with the hope that those people will then want to jump in, a regular group in January. So action item, plan a free group. But I'm going to put a poll up this week to see kind of what people want to do. And if people want to branch out and do their own, I encourage that, because again, like, I want to be a leader for you all, and I want to help you and give you all the things to do. But nothing would warm my heart more than to see you just go out and do it on yourself, do it your own, because that kind of leads me to the next. Like, don't be scared to talk about coaching. You may be here and you're not even sure if you want to coach, or maybe you're like, I'm a hybrid hobby coach, but have, business coach goal dreams. And that was me for a long time, because I didn't have a team. I didn't really know what I was talking about. But that's kind of where the magic happens. And I think sometimes we get scared off about the word coaching and team and leading and all of these terms. But like, this stuff, a lot of this is just fluff. Like, the only reason these slides look pretty is because Canva gave me a template. This took 5 minutes tonight. Like, I don't do a lot of extra things to try and be a leader that's fancy. It's just, I literally used a template. And I think sometimes when we think about leading a team, we get super intimidated. We think we don't have time. But really what we're doing is we're just talking more about community, because I view it as, I'm a coach, I guess, but more than that, I'm someone who helps change moms' lives. because someone did that for me, and I could write a book on all the things, the good that's come out of it. And I think sometimes we just assume people are against network marketing and against the concept of it. But I challenge you to really make yourself different, because we're not necessarily giving a product, but we're giving someone the ability to change their life. Like, Jessica, you just got a note in the mail from someone who, appreciates you for changing their life. And that, I mean, yes, it's great to make commissions, but it's more amazing when someone can say, okay, because you reached out to me and didn't get scared, I've lost 20 pounds or whatever it is. So when you talk about coaching, there's so much more. I mean, there's a lot you can talk about, but I think the biggest thing is just having the ability to like make someone's life tremendously better. And don't be scared off by the terms, but the way you grow in this business and the way you make more money or get to your goals of having more freedom for your family is to start by building a team. And you can't build a team if you're not talking about it. And it's scary, I know. But I would challenge you to think, add that into like your plan in a month. And I would love, like, I thought, Jessica and I know Jennifer went live in our group last month. That was kind of a sneak peek behind the scenes of coaching. I'd love to do one either again this month or in early December. Just kind of depends on the holidays. But I think, things like that are always a great way to give people a glimpse into what you do, because, really we're just trying to give people the tools to, hit their goals, and not necessarily, they maybe don't have time to go to a gym. So, and we're not like, when you go to the gym, no one's telling you to go to the gym. We can actually, help kind of hold their hand to an extent and make sure that they're finding the program for their needs and, getting the goal or hitting their goals. So yeah, I'd love to see all of you guys talking about coaching more, and not about me or not about our team, but about your future team. I talked about Team Dwell Happy before I even had a coach. Like, I talked about the vision of it because I know what it can be, and I know that I want to impact massive lives. Not for me, but because I want other moms to like feel better. Because life is like really hard sometimes. It has been really hard this week with kids. Okay, last two slides. So, okay, what does all this mean then? So start using some of these tactics to really just plan your week. So this is kind of an example of what I do. And I didn't get super detailed or specific here, but because I didn't want to craft your message. But typically on a good week, I kind of brain dump everything on a Sunday. And that's more than just like coaching and Beachbody. It's family stuff, it's personal things, it's things with my, before it was things with my regular day job. I just put everything out on paper that I need to get done in a week. And then I kind of piece things into my planner or piece things into my to-do list and go from there. So that way, sorry, that way I'm starting at least to get a tiny bit organized. Mondays, Tuesdays, traditionally when everyone's super not happy to be back at work, and they're more, I think there's some statistic, they're more inclined to look at your invite, to maybe start talking to you. So invite like a boss on those days. And I think you can do that in both the way you tell your stories on your social media, in the way you have your post. I mean, there's very obvious and subtle ways to do that. But Monday and Tuesday, like, keep talking about what you're doing that week, whether it's about coaching, whether it's about a challenge group, whether it's about a free group, whatever you want to talk about that week, talk about it hardcore Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, provide value. Oh, and also like add in some lifestyle things too. Like, it's not, you guys all do a good job of that, but just, it's not always got to be health and fitness. It's like your other things outside of that too. And then maybe Wednesday's a recipe, or Wednesday's some like Amazon hack you found, or I don't know, maybe that's just my brain, always Amazon. But, provide value. Make people want to come back to your page. And then Thursday, or it could be Tuesday technically, maybe talk about a transformation, whether it's like a side-by-side, whether it's, you from like like last year to this year, or it doesn't necessarily have to be like you and like your sports bra. I mean, there's other ways to show a transformation, or it could be the transformation of your team members. Don't forget, it doesn't always have to be just your personal results. It can be, I don't know if you guys saw Markella's transformation. It is crazy insane. Like it's amazing. She put it up tonight. But you can also talk about your team too. I mean, if it's not someone on this team, or if they haven't put it out on their own account, I would maybe check with them to make sure it's okay. But I feel like most people, if they're a coach, they think it's fine. Or maybe if your client's comfortable with sharing a transformation, show that. But it doesn't always have to be just about you. Show the community, show the people you're helping, show your other coaches, because that's really going to help really make your message more visual. And then maybe Fridays you give a tip for the weekend, you do some follow-ups, and then Saturday maybe it's just more life pictures. Excuse me. So that's just an idea of how to plan your week, and just to get more intentional with what you're doing, rather than just, okay, it's Friday tomorrow, like what should I post? And I think what I'll do actually is next week, I'll map out specifically what I'm going to do. And again, this month's a little hard because of Thanksgiving, and people are starting to drift to holiday thinking. But I will definitely share next week more specifics on how I just kind of map out what I'm going to do. And there's really no, like, I think now it's changed so much. There's no right or wrong on how often you post in your feed. It's been like 3 days for me because life has been busy. But I have been consistent in my stories. And I know other people post multiple times on their feed, maybe less on their stories. It's whatever you like and feel comfortable doing. But definitely be present at least in one. Because I view like your feed as more of like your magazine cover, and the stories are more like day to day. And then finally, this is just a truth bomb, the more you invite, the less attached to the outcome you will be. Meaning, if you are, getting over the fear of what you're inviting to, or just inviting in general, and, Jessica, to your point, hopefully you feel more confident in inviting. And if not, let's definitely figure out, the best method for you to be involved with your challengers and the way you want to do that. But the more you are inviting, then the less you're really going to care when people don't respond, when people don't, or when people say no. Because what I find is, like, in the beginning, I used to really put all my eggs in one basket, or like 5 baskets, and then I would send a share cart and they would just not respond. And that can be really hard. So if you stop focusing on what, like, the few people that you're inviting, and you do it more in mass quantities, or just even connecting. I hate the word invite, but just connecting with your future challengers, then it doesn't feel so tough when you kind of almost feel like you're getting this rejection. Because it can be hard, people say no. And I guarantee you, if someone's saying no right away, it's because they don't trust you yet, or they haven't watched your stories long enough. But if you give it a chance, if you're being consistent, people will come around. I promise you. I can guarantee you. So that's all. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully you can get a couple things out of that. And then, like I said, I'll put together, just send you guys a snapshot of kind of what I'm planning. I'm trying to be better about having a good plan for the month, or for the week, and then for the month. And so I think that's really helpful in just knowing what to do. I mean, I do it with my meals, and my meals are super simple now. So I feel like if I know what I'm doing in my business, then it won't feel so like daunting or disorganized. Any questions? All right. I'm going to stop sharing.